Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well. In today's video, I am going to share with you some applications of choose formula that you probably have not seen before. Let's begin with our first example. In this example, you can see I have information about name, student ID and class of the students. And I want to fetch this information in second table sitting below my first table. You are aware of the fact that we can use vlookup to extract information from different tables. But here the problem is that I have to apply the vlookup from right to left direction. And you all are familiar with the fact that vlookup cannot be applied from right to left direction. So in order to make it work, I am going to combine choose formula with vlookup. But before we combine them, let me tell you a few things. First, you have to locate your common column. Common column basically represents the information that is available in both the tables. Here you can see I have name column in my table 2 and similarly I have a name column in my table 1. This means name column is my main column. So begin with your main column and start numbering the columns in the left direction with your main column as number 1. Now I am going to give student ID number 2 and for class I am going to give it a number 3. So let's begin with typing the formula. First type equal to vlookup, then enter the reference of the lookup value which is our first name, then insert comma, and for the table array I am going to type the combination of choose formula. So let's write choose, start the parenthesis and then start the curly brackets and within curly brackets type 1 comma 2 because we have to deal with two columns. Our first column is the name column and our second column is the class column. Okay. Close the curly bracket, insert comma and then first provide the reference of your main column which is your name column and fix it by pressing F4. Then insert comma and provide the reference of your other column from which we are trying to retrieve the information that is our class column. So provide its reference and fix it by pressing F4. Close the bracket and here you have entered the table array value for your lookup function. Insert comma and then we have to enter the index number of the column from which information is to be retrieved. This column is our second column, so I am going to type 2 and insert comma, then select false for the exact match, close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now drag it down and here we are with our class information. Okay, we have class number 3 for Hania and here we have class number 3 for Hania. For Ihtisham we have class number 3 and also here we have class number 3 for Ihtisham. Zubia studies in class 4 and here we can see class 4 against Zubia. This means we have applied our formula correctly. Here you have to take care of one thing, that your column index number basically is not the number that you have written here. Instead, it is the number that reflects your columns in the formula. I have used here 2 instead of 3 because I have provided the reference of only 2 columns here. My first column that is main column and my second column that is titled with class. So according to the formula, it is my second column. That's why I have written 2 here instead of 3, which is the actual column number in my table 1, right? So be very careful while using this combination of formula for retrieving your information. Okay, now we have to extract the information of student ID from table 1. So again, I am going to use the same formula, but instead of this reference here, I am going to replace it with student ID column. Okay, so now let's replace it. Let's remove it from here and instead of that, I am going to provide the reference of this column. Fix it by pressing F4 and hit enter. Drag it down And here you are with your student IDs. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this formula. If you like this formula, then don't forget to hit like to the video. Now let's move towards our second example. Here you can see I have information about marks, and in my table below I have some remarks against those marks, and I want to copy these remarks here against the numbers. So here instead of using ifs I am going to use the choose formula. Now let's begin with typing our formula. Type choose, start the parenthesis again, and here give the reference of the first cell and type greater than, and then you have to put the values that are existing on the left side of these ranges. Okay, so first we have a range from 0 to 50. So here I am going to type 0, close the parenthesis, then add plus, start the parenthesis, again give the reference of this cell and type greater than and equal to, and then provide the reference of the second range, that is 51. Close the parenthesis, type plus, again start the parenthesis, again give the reference of this cell and type greater than and equal to. Now we have 66 in our third range. So I am going to type 66. In a similar way, you have to enter all these range information. Our next task is to enter the remarks. Insert comma, provide the reference of this cell, fix it by pressing F4, then provide the reference of second cell and fix it by pressing F4, and do the same for all other options. Now close the parenthesis, press enter, and here you can see that we have retrieved the remarks against our marks obtained. Now let's use the same technique and calculate the bonus values against the sales. For different sales, we have specified the ranges, and according to the range, we have different percentages of bonus. So let's use choose formula here as we did for marks and calculate the bonus values. Let's begin with typing choose, start the parenthesis, provide the reference of first cell and type greater than 0, close the parenthesis and then provide the other condition, that is 2001. Now next we want to calculate the bonus. Insert the comma, provide the reference of your first cell in the bonus percentage, fix it by pressing F4 and multiply it with the cell reference to calculate the bonus. Then insert comma, provide the reference of your second percentage bonus, fix it by pressing F4 and again multiply it with the reference cell. Then provide the reference of your third bonus percentage reference, fix it by pressing F4 and multiply it with the sales value, close the parenthesis and press enter. And here you can see we have obtained our bonus values. So I hope you like this technique of extracting bonus information and remarks information. Now let's move towards our last example. In this example, I have information about dates and I want to retrieve information about weekday, month, and I also want to calculate next dates depending upon my requirement using a choose formula. So let's first begin with extracting the weekday information from date. Here you have to type choose, start the bracket and within parentheses type weekday. Provide the reference of your cell, that is C5, close the parenthesis and then you have to enter the names of 7 days in a week. So let's begin with Sunday. So you can see here that after applying the weekday formula, I have entered the name of all the days in a week. Close the parenthesis and press enter, and here we are with the name of our weekdays that reflect these dates. Okay. In order to extract the month information, we have to use the same combination of the choose formula, but instead of weekdays, we will enter the name of months. So write choose, within parentheses type month, then provide the reference of your first date, close the parenthesis, and here I am going to type the name of months. So here you can see I have entered the name of all the months in a year, close the parenthesis, drag it downwards, and here we are with the name of months. Okay, now let's say we want to find next dates by adding certain conditions. So let's say I want to see the date 10 days after this date. So in order to do that, type equal to, provide the reference of the date, then add plus, then add, choose, type weekday, provide the reference of your date, close the parenthesis and then type 10 for the 7 times, okay? Because you have 7 days in a week. Close the parenthesis and hit enter, and here we are with the date 10 days after this date. Now let's try this with another example. Let's say I want to find the date 5 days after this date. So in order to do that, provide the reference of this date, then add plus, type choose, type weekday, and within the parenthesis provide the reference of this date, close the parenthesis, and then add 5 for 7 times, close the parenthesis, press enter, and here we are with the date after 5 days from this date. If you want to use this formula for today's date, type today and leave the parenthesis empty, add plus, then add, choose, within the bracket again type today, and let's say we want to see the date after 5 days from today. So I am going to type 5, type here weekday, okay, and then press enter, and here we are with the date 5 days after the today's date. This is basically your September 2. So if you liked the today's video, then don't forget to hit like. If you are new to my channel, then do subscribe to it. Share the link with your family and friends as well. This is all for today. I hope you enjoyed the today's video. Thank you for your time. Stay blessed. Have a good day.